Welcome to LaVidaRosa. I'm your host Pinky, and today we're going to be talking about The Ultimatum Season 2, the finale, and the reunion. So if you'd like to see more, then just stay tuned. But before we begin, I would like for everyone to check out my website, LaVidaRosaStyle.com, link down below, where you can find cute accessories like the ones I'm wearing right now, as well as handmade wire rings by yours truly. Like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this video. Y'all, I can't even lie, I filmed half of this video already before I realized I wasn't even recording, and so I'm a little agitated. If my attitude is a little stank, that's why. I was gonna give a full rundown on the finale, but the finale was literally only 10 minutes long, okay? Spoiler alert, everyone is engaged. All of the engagements were so cringy and forced and predictable, and like, who was holding a gun to y'all head and telling y'all have to get married? It just felt unnatural. It just didn't feel like people that truly loved each other and wanted to get married, and there was no passion. Like, even my boyfriend was like, is this scripted? The premise of the show is already aggy, because it feels like one person in the relationship is begging the other for marriage. I feel like these proposals perfectly represented that. Rox, in these overlined lips, barely even said yes. And before Antonio even said anything, I was like, she better audibly say yes. She better say yes out of her mouth, because stop playing. And Rox is playing the same F-boy games we've seen time and time again on these shows. It's just the genders are reversed. I don't need this. Oh, you are not that emotional, because you don't even like that man like that. But we're going to get to Rox. Let's move on to the reunion. First of all, I have to go in on Vanessa and Nick. Really, most of my smoke is for Vanessa, because Nick just be sitting there. Let's just be honest. Like, Nick just be sitting there nodding and just he might throw in a lame line or two. I've come to the conclusion that I really don't like husband and wife duo hosts. I don't like that, because they always try to bring in these anecdotes about what they've gone through in the past. If somebody says, they always find a way to bring it back to them and center themselves in the conversation. We need a host that's not biased. We need a host that's not scared to ask the deep questions, because y'all want to be friends with people and make them feel so comfortable. That is not why y'all here. That's not your job. Y'all are not therapists. Y'all are not motivational speakers. This is not your YouTube channel. We don't want to hear about your life. We want to hear about their life. And then y'all take up all this airtime talking about stuff we do not care about. I do not care that Nick stays up till 4 in the morning watching ESPN. I wonder why. I wonder why, because you probably going to talk his head off in the bed. Because she talks over everybody, including him. Like, sometimes I want to be like, Nick, can you please reel her in? Why are you even here? And like I said before, they don't hold people accountable. They don't ask the real questions that we want to know from the season. We need to get down to the nitty gritty. And when you ask a question and they answer, ask a follow-up question. And when there are big bombs dropped during the season, the place to address it is at the reunion. Y'all want to spare their feelings. We as the audience suffer. The whole point of the reunion is to rehash the show. Did y'all watch the show? Now, I ain't gonna lie, this season wasn't good, okay? I feel like most of us can agree on that. But anybody who watched the season, there are certain topics we wanted to discuss. There are certain questions that we wanted answers to. And then y'all had the nerve to take up 10 minutes with this childish, unnecessary game. It would be different if the questions were messy and actually pulling out some tea. Y'all are asking about celebrity hall passes. Why would we care about that? Let me get myself together. This reunion is picking up a year after filming, so I'm assuming a year after the proposals. First, we talk about Lisa and Brian. People on the cast really didn't believe that Lisa was pregnant, because it would be like an easy way for her to manipulate him to leave, because she tried to leave a couple of times and they didn't work. So I wouldn't put it past her to do it, okay? I ain't gonna lie. But it turns out that she really was pregnant, and she literally just had a baby boy. The baby is 7 weeks old. They are still together. They claim that the baby has changed everything. At some point, Raya called out Lisa. And y'all remember how Lisa acted towards Raya. She was completely out of pocket. Called this girl every name in the book. Judged her for her working at Hooters, and she basically trying to call her a hoe. Raya felt away because she thought they bonded. by getting their nails done together. And Lisa even told her that she used to work at Hooters at one point. As soon as you saw your man talking to her, you flipped that on her and used it against her at your big age, because I have to say, you are much older than Raya. Raya is only 24. You are 31. There's no way you should be going in on this young girl like that. And you could tell Raya is not even a confrontational person. So it almost felt like bullying, the way that you were talking about her and you were pulling your weight against her. I didn't like it. It was so uncalled for. She doubled down on the behavior. She said she does not regret her behavior or how she acted towards Raya whatsoever, and said that she felt Raya crossed her. You literally brought him here so y'all could break up and have a trial marriage with someone else and flip out when he only like, I have to reiterate for those who have not actually seen any of this, he literally was only talking to her. They were barely flirting. Now, you could clearly see he was attracted to her, she was attracted to him, and she was saying how hot he was, right? But they didn't cross nobody's line, because that is the whole parameters of this show. And so she started talking about, if you love your man, you ain't gonna be lusting over somebody else. She felt like Raya was here to just scheme on her man and not learn, and you're just mad because she's a baddie and he was attracted to her. That's all I can get from it. I don't know how true this is. This is alleged. Someone said that their relationship started off as friends with benefits, and so that's why she would be so jealous and intimidated by other women, because they were not exclusive from the beginning. And so you're taking out your insecurities in your relationship in this man, or wherever your place is in your life with him, you're taking it out on the other women, when really you should be looking at him and maybe he's not a good match for you. If he's such a great man, why are you here? Because y'all still ain't engaged. Everybody else on this stage is engaged and on their way to get married, even though they ain't nothing to envy over there. Y'all done had a whole baby, and this man ain't even talking about marrying you. That's what you're really mad about. I really do feel like a big reason why he's stalling is because of that terrible behavior that we saw. And then here come Rox trying to defend her behavior. Well, she was pregnant. Her pregnancy hormones. I knew that was going to be brought up as an excuse. And it's not lost on me that Rox is the one that brought it up, because she's the type to use that as an excuse too for her nasty behavior. And she leaned right into it. Yeah, that's what made me take the pregnancy test, because I knew I was acting out of character. No, you wasn't. Because you were very unapologetic for your behavior. I could not believe Nick and Vanessa did not bring up the fact that she put her hands on him. It happened in front of everybody. Like, nobody else wanted to bring it up either. They probably scared of Lisa, to be honest. But you literally put your hands on him. Imagine if a man had did that in front of a group of people. He would have immediately been kicked off the show. They didn't even make her answer for it at the reunion. Mind you, it probably wouldn't even matter if they did bring it up, because Brian was excusing her every step of the way. But that doesn't make it okay. If she was willing to do that on camera, imagine what she's willing to do behind closed doors. And you could tell that wasn't the first time it happened, because he didn't even flinch. She did end up releasing an apology to Raya and to Brian on her Instagram page. It didn't feel sincere. And I feel like it's BS, because you stood 10 toes down in it at that reunion. And now that the reunion has aired, now all of a sudden you want to apologize because of maybe the backlash. One thing I am glad to hear is that they are having a healthy co-parenting situation. I just hope that if the relationship doesn't work out, y'all can continue on that. The baby is only 7 weeks, so you know, it's still very early. That's really all I have to say about Lisa and Brian. I just feel like that's a toxic situation though. So then they moved on to Roxanne and Antonio. This segment was so emasculating and embarrassing for Antonio. You can speak up and speak on everybody's relationship, but when it comes to Rox, everybody on mute. Look, I might have been wrong about Antonio. I thought he was just sticking around with her because he wanted the bag, okay? He wanted to be a stay-at-home husband. He wanted to live a soft life, child. That's what I thought. But he stepped up. He's become an entrepreneur. He's got his own car wash now. He has plans of making them into a franchise, and it doesn't seem like it's good enough for her. She was like, yeah, he's bringing in something financially, but I'm still the one that's the provider. She constantly downplays this man at every turn. He's not there yet. He's not where you are yet. But clearly he's putting in the effort and he's trying. And if you want somebody that has more, why are you still with him? Leave him. Do you want somebody you could just rule over? Because that's what it's feeling like. It's feeling like she wants a whipping boy. You just want somebody you can talk crazy to and feel like you have power over. Clearly this man loves you for him to still be there. He don't have to be there. You downplay him at every turn. You do not uplift him in any way. When I tell you the look of shock on my face when she says she owns a pasty business, I'm thinking she's a wolf of Wall Street. I'm thinking she's a woman in STEM. I'm thinking she out here moving and shaking with the big boys, which, look, I'm not trying to downplay her business, okay? Because I need some of that work ethic. But the way she was talking, constantly bringing up work. Yeah, I got to work from 8 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock at night. Consistently on hustle mode, grind mode all day long. I always want to talk business. I am flabbergasted that she sells pasties. That threw me all the way off. Vanessa pointed out how she had a ring on every finger but her ring finger. Now you have to go out of your way to do something like that. She claims the original ring didn't fit. The man got it resized and then got 2 other rings to pair with it. Her new excuse is, well, I didn't want to wear it because it felt possessive. He doesn't have to wear one. I love that somebody said, well, why don't you get him a ring so he could wear one too? Because you know he'll gladly wear it. Once again, Antonio is just sitting there looking so hurt, looking so shamed. Like, this woman is literally playing in your face. At this point, it's on you, Antonio. You're putting up with it. You don't have to be with someone who's going to treat you like that. Alex at one point did confront her about her not wearing the ring and saying, you know, it's a huge statement of you not wearing it. And I agree, but Alex, pipe down. Another missed opportunity is they didn't even go into detail and ask her questions about the big blow up between the 2 couples. The fact that Roxanne has been talking all this crap behind Antonio's back. How do you feel about it? In fact, let's play a montage of all the nasty things she said and ask Antonio, how do you feel about that? And how do you move forward in a relationship with someone who talks about you behind your back like that? How do you feel about going off on Alex when he actually was telling the truth? Alex, do you feel vindicated? Do you feel vindicated now that we play all this back? Antonio, are you going to apologize to Alex for calling him a lie and his mama a lie? Because I'm going to need an apology for my mama or a sub. The host was not doing their job. Then we move on to Kat and Alex. They are getting married and they have set a date. They had the invitations there. Roxanne felt some type of way that she didn't get one. Why would you get one? Why would you want one? According to Kat, Alex has done a 180 and he's very excited to get married and he wants to put a baby in her ASAP. Kat, I think you're just happy that you're getting married. Like, I don't know that this man has actually changed. I don't know that I believe that. He's a good manipulator. So he might be pretending now, but I just don't believe. The way he talked about her behind her back wasn't cute either. The way that he said that Kat doesn't challenge him and that he wants more out of his partner, that did not change. Like, you can't tell me he feels any differently. Maybe he knows that she would be a perfect indentured servant to him, because she'll go for anything and have them kids while he get to do whatever else he want to do. I just don't get love from him when it comes to Kat. He was way more energized with Roxanne. At some point, Rox interjected and was like, well, it's funny because he always joked with me about wanting 12 kids. And Kat was like, well, there's a difference between a joke and actually planning to have children together. And I like how she did have a rebuttal for Rox, because I felt like she's not the type of person that will respond that way. I hope you're doing that with Alex too. I hope you're not just allowing him to say whatever and not giving him any sort of pushback. He told Antonio that he only told him about the disrespect that Roxanne was giving him behind his back because he thought that he should know, not because he actually wanted to steal Roxanne away from him. I don't know if he actually wanted to be with Roxanne or not, but it was giving, you want her to yourself and you were trying to push your girl onto Antonio. At the same time, Roxanne, you was really just mad that you got caught up in this situation. You said yourself that you felt like he betrayed your trust, which means you must have been saying something. She claims that she tried to tell Kat the same thing about Alex and how he talked about her behind her back. But Kat felt like Roxanne didn't have good intentions. Kat is excusing Alex's behavior the same way that Antonio low-key excuses Roxanne's. So them trying to call each other out, it's a little hypocritical. But Kat, you have to be honest, that man did walk all over you and you accepted less than you deserve from him. I don't think Roxanne is lying on y'all. Let's move on to Raya and Trey. They will be getting married as well. They have a date set, I believe, and they're going to be having a destination wedding. She's going to be spending all Trey's money on this wedding. I'm just playing. They're still trying to figure things out about whether she's going to school or where they're going to live or whatever. I just think y'all don't need to get married. I think he's going to get tired of her childish behavior. I don't think Raya knows really what she wants in life. She's probably still trying to find herself. And I don't think she really wants to be with Trey. She just likes to be taken care of, and he's willing to do it. They talked about what James said about Raya not being ready to get married. James stood on what he said. He didn't take it back. Nobody on that stage thought that Raya was going to say yes to that proposal. That's one more thing the host dropped the ball on, because we didn't even get into the confrontation between James and Raya and why he thought that Raya was trying to come on to him and why he thought she wanted to hook up with him and why she immediately FaceTimed Trey, because it seemed like she was covering up her tracks to me, but I guess we'll never know because they didn't ask. Trey at some point said that even he was questioning whether she would say yes, because before this process she never initiated saying I love you, meaning she never said it to him first. Pause. Trey, you telling me you still wanted to marry her even knowing this girl never said I loved you to you first? You need to work on yourself too. The same way Antonio does, you need to work on yourself as well. Because I do remember earlier in the season he was talking about how he didn't think he was attractive and how he didn't get a lot of attention from women when he was younger. You need to develop some self-esteem. I think he's with Raya and he thinks Raya is so out of his league that he has to go above and beyond and give and give and give, and she doesn't really have to give much in return because he wants to be with her so bad. She claims that he downplayed his feelings for Ryan, and maybe he did. When the host asked Ryan, has she reached out to Trey, have they talked since the show, and she said no, because she didn't want to be disrespectful to Raya and their relationship. She said sometimes she would see him post on Instagram stories and she would want to respond or whatever, and she wouldn't do it because she didn't want to cross Raya, and Raya was like, yeah, you can comment on the stories but no texting. I'm not gonna be mad at her for setting that boundary. Somebody said they should do a group chat with all four of them so it wouldn't be awkward. They did bring up the fact that she didn't want kids, and some point in the season she changed her mind and said that she did want kids. She said originally the reason why she didn't want to is because she had gotten pregnant with Trey at one point, and when they went to the doctor one visit they didn't hear a heartbeat, and so she was terrified of that happening again, and that's why she said she didn't want kids. And honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and go with that because I can't tell a woman how to feel after experiencing something devastating like that. So then we get to James and Ryan. I feel like their segment was especially sugar-coated because they made it seem like, oh, they set a date, they're getting married, he moved into her family household, he was the only child when he grew up and his mother wasn't really there, so he gets to experience what a big family is like, and it's just so great. We're so excited. They never brought up the fact that she was his long-suffering girlfriend for 7 years, and even after all that time he felt like he couldn't open up to her. They never addressed the fact that he has mommy issues and felt neglected by her. How is your relationship now? How does she feel watching that? Are y'all in family therapy? Are you in individual therapy because you self-harm and you never properly dealt with the death of your father? And now you have these major triggers that your future wife is going to have to deal with for the rest of your life unless you deal with that. They never brought up the fact that he's cheated on her in the past and how that affected their relationship. They never brought up the fact that he had a high-paying job elsewhere and he turned it down to stay with Ryan. And how does he really feel about that? But they did show us this creepy montage of James being a freak, which was even more so disturbing because, again, he self-harms. So yeah, you want her to whip you and pour hot candle wax on you. Is that feeding into something that's unhealthy? Like, y'all just completely brushed over James and Ryan. Y'all didn't even ask Ryan about Trey and how did she feel about the fact that he caught feelings for her. Did you ever feel the same? Like, y'all dropped the ball. Ugh, I was so agitated with this reunion. Y'all let me know what y'all think down below. I would love to hear your opinion. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.